Welcome. In this crash course, I'm going to teach you this landing page of this static HTML. So this is what we are going to create in this crash course. So you can see the course. So let's see how responsive the course is. So because I'm going to teach you this particular course, so you know how to use the course respectively. You can see how responsive it is. So you can see at 400 pixel breakpoint, you can see how it is. You can see this is just the landing page. You can see how responsive it is. You can see the title. You can see the nav bar, the navigation bar, how responsive it is, and the image. You can see how responsive it is. Cool. So this is what we are going to create for this course. So let's close it. So now let's go to our desktop. So let's create a folder. Right click new folder, new, and take me file, call it master HTML. So this is our folder that we are going to use for this course. So let me drag my assets folder into it, which is my image. So I've dragged it to it. So from here now, so you can now drag your master HTML folder to your Visual Studio Code. Cool. So we have it inside already. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to our extension. We'll install two plugins, which is Live Server Compiler and Live Server, to our system. I've already installed it. You can see. So you can see I've installed it. So when you install it, so you can go back to your file. So you have installed those. So the next thing we are going to do now, because we are going to use Sass for this particular crash course. So let me create a file here. Let me call it index.html. And see my index.html. Wow, it's nice, a folder. Sorry for that. So file, call it index.html. So let me open the document that we'll be creating so that we see it. Okay, so let's create our boilerplate. Hold down the shift key and press 1, exclamation will show, then you, because that is our boilerplate for HTML building block. So you can see the boilerplate has appeared. So the next thing we are going to do now is to create our link. So let's create our link. Let's call it main.css. So we have our main.css up and running. Remember, this is our folder. This is our folder. Oh, I have to take this image out, index.html out of the image folder. So let's move it out of the image folder. So it's now out of the image folder. So now let's maximize. So what we are going to do next, since we have our boilerplate up and running, so the next thing we are going to set up our Sass. So let's set up our Sass. Let's set up our Sass. So remember, let us not be inside the image folder. So we click here, then we now say main.scss. So this is our Sass. So let's minimize this also, minimize it so that you can see it left and right. Cool. So we have it. running. This is our Sass. So when you have installed your live server and live Sass server into your system, so an image icon or an icon will show at the top of your taskbar at your Visual Studio Code editor. You will see watch Sass at the bottom here. So what you will do, so you can see CSS, yes, also here is showing here. You will see go live, also display. We can see live server is running on the system now. So we want to compile our CSS with our site together now. So ensure that when you create your main.scss, which is the Sass file, highlight it, ensure that it's selected. Ensure that it is selected. So when it is selected, so come down here, then click watch Sass. So when you click at the watch Sass, automatic it will compile and generate the mapping which will compile your CSS with your Sass. Then it will also install or create a file for your main.css automatic at your file folder. So now let's click that now, see the magic. So you can see main.css has appeared and main.css map has also appeared. So now automatic this will be compiling by itself. Now let's set our browser for coding. So let's press asterisk, comma, asterisk, that is universal selector for our pseudo class before, asterisk, pseudo class after. So now let's have it margin 0, padding 0, box sizing inherit. So that is it. Then let's have our HTML. So our HTML, the font size. The font size by default came 16 pixels for all browser. Now we want to reset our browser to 10 pixels. So what we are going to do here, we are going to, let me show you the formula. Let's comment. Let's do our comments. This is what we are going to do. We want to change it to 10 pixels. So 10 pixels is known as 10 divided by 16, which is equal to 0.0625. 0.0625. So we convert it to percentage, which is now giving us 62.5%. So this is equivalent to 10 pixels. It's no longer 16. So our browser now run on 10 pixels, not 16 pixels anymore. So that is our HTML. So let's set the body. So font family, let's use monospace. So let's have our line height. Let's have line height 1.7. Let's have color. Okay, before then let's set our color. Since we are using Sass color primary, we have 008 ED6. That's our primary color. So let's have our dark color. Our dark color we have 000. Then let's have our secondary. Let's have our secondary color. Our secondary color, which is the gray color. Let's have our sources color. which is 47 F8 47. Let's have our danger color FC 444. Let's have our white color FFF. Our info color, which is the yellow F7 F737. Don't forget to put the pound sign. So we are up and running with our color. So now let's go to the body now and set our color to color white. Then let's set our boss sizing to border boss. So let's set the font size. And set font size to, let's say, 2N. Now we're up and running. So since we install our live server and live site server, so let's click go live. So you can see we are live now, but we have nothing in our HTML. So let's go to our HTML now. Let's set our HTML. Let's have header. Then we have header container, header brand, header logo, header title. So title is Murphy Tech Expert. So let's have our image. So remember is logo, which is expert. So let's have our logo. You can see the logo has shown up. So now let's start our format. So let's go to, so let's have it. Let's have it, which is header container brand logo title. Excuse me. So our header, let's give it a height of 7 you can see we have a height of 7 so let's have a brand height of 5 of our brand. So let's check it and see what we are doing. Header brand, we have header contain now, header brand. Now wow, header logo, sorry, supposed to be in header logo, not header brand. Good. See, so now let's have our background. Our background will be color dark. You can see it's up and running. You can see. Let's have our container width of, let's say, 95%, margin 0 auto. Let's use 90%. It will be appropriate for 90%. Good. 10% is good. So we have it. And let's have our brand. Let's display it first. So container also, let's display it. Let's display it first. Justify item center. Height 100%. So let me go to my and see what I've written. My tech expert, what did I write here? Expert. Sorry for that spelling error. So height 100%. Justify content center. So we have our brand and our logo. Let's transform uppercase. Let's transform uppercase. Justify content center. Align item center. Cool. You can see our brand is up and running now. It's centralized. So remember, the brand is flex. So now we can remove this from the brand. Remove that from the brand. So the next thing we are going to do, the navigation. So let's say our prototype is the navigation. So now let's do the navigation. So let's go down. Remember, it's under the header. So under the header to be on the side of the container. So now to the brand. So now we have our header nav bar. So our on order list, header list, li, header item, icon, header link. So let's put at here. Going nowhere for now. Let's have our home. So now let's duplicate the li. So home, about us, contact us. So we have it, you can see it's showing or something. So let's start it now. Excuse me. Nav bar, now have link, list, item, link. So let me start with the list first. List style, let's say no, and see the style is gone. So let's go to the item. For the item, let's go to link, text decoration, set it to no. We now have color, white, color is white, font size, let's say 2M. Let's go to item now. And for the item, let's have display flex. You can see. Justify content. Let's say align item center. Display flex, align item center. Cool. So image, forgot. Let's put our image here in the nav bar. ing header, profile, header profile. So the profile has shown up. So let's start the profile now. Start the nav bar. We now have profile, height of 5 rem, border radius 50%. You can see border solid, color white, .5 rem. This is 0.3 rem. Cool. You can see we are having our border, our nav bar up and running. So now let's go to, if you look at our navigation bar, we see that the nav bar and the brand are child of the container. So let's go to container now and space it as justify content space between. See, space between now. So if we maximize it, you see that it's on point. so space between. So now the next thing we're going to do now, under the nav bar, so we can give it a gap, colon gap, let's say colon gap, colon gap of 2 2 m, so 2 m is okay, or too much, let's say 1.5 m. Cool. So let's go to our list now and give it a gap, colon gap again, colon gap of 1 m. Cool. That's our list. So let's over the link. Let's over the link. Let's give it color. And this color, call it color primary. Color primary. So let's add a transition for the smooth hovering color 1.5 seconds is cool. You can see the is transition. So let's have the link and the item here. Let's have a cursor pointer. So our profile, there's our profile here. Let's have it cursor. Cursor pointer. And see, it's up and running. So if we want to have it in the over stage, just add this to transform, scale. Let's say scale. See the scaling. So let's add transition, smooth scaling. And 3 seconds is so let's have transform. Transform. Let's see the scale. So let's view it and see what we have done so far. Let's see our prototype. So this is the navigation bar, our header. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Welcome back. Let's start creating our body. So we start with a section. Under that section we have what we call container. Inside the container we have what we call the class name of image. Okay, let me call it main. Then we now have main img. Then we now have img dot main img dot main img dash dash 1. Then we have our img. Then let's call this one image. Instead of img, let it be image. Let's complete it. Image. Cool. Then let's have our image path. Call it img1. Image1. Then let's duplicate the image. Wow. 2. So let's call this img2, img3, image3, image2. So let's have our image2, image3. So we have our image up and running. So inside main now, we have our form. Our form. On that form now, we have what we call form. Okay, we have it as main group. Now the main group now we now have input, main control. Let's have a placeholder. Of first name. Then let's copy the main group. Then the last one. So the second one is last name. So let's go up. Last name. The third one is email address. Email address. The placeholder should be add email. Okay, let's just call it email address. Placeholder. Then this input type should be submit, because some input, not button, English button. So we can get rid of the placeholder and replace it with value. You can now say submit. So let's view what we have done so far. You can see our image, so bogus. So what we are going to do. Start styling it now. So remember, we have container. Let's start with the container. Let's have width of 90%. Let me use width of okay, 80%. Let me use width of 80%. Margin 0 auto. That is for our width. If we want to see it very well, we can add background. So we place this background. So this background will just stand as a placeholder. So let's give it a green background so that we see it. So let's go on, check it again. We have a container, then we now have main now. Let's create our main now. Main. In that main we now have image, group, control, so let's have the height of our image. Let's set it to, wow, this image img. So the height of our image, so let's set it to like, let's give it 30 first. See, so before then we have to wash, we have to ensure that our Sass is working. It's at wash, so we click wash to start running. You can see now it's up and running. So let's view it. Look at it now. You can see everything's up and running. You can see the percentage of the background. We still remove the green, which is the placeholder the background. So that is it. So let's go back to our styling. Let me turn it to that not bad. So let's add it. -1 -2, choose the second image, -3, the third image. Sorry for using 4, that is 3. Cool. Let's change the position here to relative. Choose the image to relative. Then here we can now change all this. So let me use this so we should not repeat ourselves. Sorry, go to absolute, then add the image level. Position, can change to relative. have our image. You can see everything has collapsed. Let's check it. You can see all the image has collapsed together now. So let's start styling it. So before then, let me go to the main. I'm gonna display the main. Yes, because we have both form and look at it. You can see both the form now collapse. We have both form and the image there. Display flex. Let's check our input where we have our form. See our form there. Let's have our form shadow and say justify content space between. Cool. You can see the form now have taken its position while the image have also taken its position. So cool. And let's start styling the image now to have what our prototype have here. So let's start styling it. Let's give them z index. All should be in 1. Z index is 1. We have top. Let's give it 9. Well, that is the first image. Left. Let's go forward. So let's go to the second image. Top. I'll give it 12 well. Left. So 15 well. Check it very well. So the third image, let's have it top. Let's say 5 well. Left. 17 well. And let's go to second image. Do the second image. Top. Let me have it 20. Excuse me. Top. Then at the left, let's have it 5. Let's check it at full screen. See what we have done so far. So let's move the first image down a little bit. The first image, let's have it at 13. Second image, image too much. Let's have it at 20. Better now. Good. So let's go to the image. This is the image, and let's add it as border, radius 25 rem, border, color white, solid 24 rem. Awesome. So let's remove the background of that container. So let's have that our background to it. Let's check the prototype. Can look at the prototype. Have the background here. So now let's add it to it. So let's check. We can see we have container there. So then we have section here. So let's in our section here. So let's give it a class of main body. So for the container, let's call it main body. Background. And G4. Let's check it out. You can see the background is there. So let's add some property to it. Fuse, cover, property, background image, background, size, cover, background, position, center, now have background with bits, have no repeat. And we have a height of 100%. Let's check it out and see. Let's see what is wrong. Not covering. So let's figure out why is it not covering the full page. So we'll check the HTML have section, which is main body. So height is 100%. So let's use view height. View height. See, that's cover now. Height. Then let's have our check. You can see there's overlay here. So let's add the overlay. We have our linear gradient. RGBA. Let's have our color dark. RGBA, color dark again. Save check the prototype. We are up and running. Coding is coming to life now. So we have added our background. So that is our background. Next we are going to do, let's check the prototype. The full screen, you can see when we hover, the back image move to the front, change their flow. So let's add that style to it. When we hover the image, which is the image 1, excuse me, the Z index should change to 2. So let's copy this over stage. Let's correct the error. Up and running now. So let's add that transition to it. Let's go to the image, which is the parent. Transition over 0.5 seconds is let's use all. Easy. Let's use easy. Cursor, pointer. I love that pointer stuff. Cool. So let's start our form. Check our prototype. You can see our form. So let's start our form now. So let me add input. the container, adding 5 and 0. So let's type the form now. I have the form group, excuse me. Let's check our prototype. Cool. Let's type the control first. Font size 3, padding 2, width 100%. So let's check it out and see what we have done so far. Cool. So let's add gap to our main gap. Say 5 when. So let's reduce the image size. Let's reduce it to 26. Not only that, let's reduce our listing to 90, container to 90, which is okay now. So we have that gap now. Let's go back to our form. Our form group, let's have margin bottom, margin bottom, let's do well. 31, size 2. That will be appropriate. Fine. So remember, we have in our HTML, which is the form. Let's go to the form and see. If you look at the form, we have form here. Let's have a class here. Let's call it main form. So let's type it now. Form. So width, less, width 1. See? Change it from place. And here now, let's have our background so that we see where we want to add our form to. And select color red, danger, color danger. So now let's give it a width. Let's give it a width of 50%. That's 30%. heading. By the top, let's give it 5 room. Excuse me. Let's say a prototype. Now, I think we can increase our image now. Let's increase our image to 30 back. Let's look at that. Cool. Font size 22.5. So let's start our button. Look at the button. Let's see the button. Let's start it now. Let's go to our HTML. Then let's go to button. So we have another main VTN. So target the button specific. So we call it main VTN. Give it a background. Okay, let's remove the background. The background of none. Border. Color. Primary. Solid 0.4 red. So let's check it out. Let's see. Check the prototype. Color is white. Let's have it color white. Font weight bold. Border radius 0.4 red. So we have our border radius 0.4 red. Let's check our prototype. So let's reduce the border a bit. So let's say 0.3. So now let's go to our control and change the border radius to 0.4 radius. Then opacity 2.5 rem. Let's check it out. Opacity 2.5. Not rem. Okay, check this. Wow, 5. Let's take it to 8 and see. Okay, yes, okay now. So let's remove border, set it to no. Outline, set it to no. See, so let's increase the font size a bit. Font size, opacity to 1.5. Cool. Check prototype. You can see this is awesome. So the prototype, when we over the background display, so let's apply that to our BTN. So when we over at the over stage, background should be color primary. Transition the background. In 5 seconds. Easy. Ooh. See the background. See, I can see the animation is has our cursor. Check what else done. I think we have done with everybody. So what we are going to do next, which is the footer. So let's type the footer. Let's get the footer down. Let's go to our HTML window section. Then we say footer. Footer. Then if you check our prototype, we have the reserve and what's the year and the time. Let's have a paragraph. Just call it footer text. Let's have footer date. And let's call it footer year. Then we now have footer time. So let's start it. Let's check it out and see. See, everything is right. So let's start it now. Let's go to our CSS. Let's add our footer. Let's add a background of color dark. Let's place it. Display place. Height of 7 rem. Our footer text. Font size of 3 rem. Let's justify content center first. You can see everything now is up and running. Align item center. So the time, didn't feel anything the time, let's add it. See our time now. time. So let's check our prototype. It's our prototype. So now let's code a little JavaScript to work on our time. So let's add our script here. Now comes the first one, then is our year. We call it let year equal to, okay, before that year let's say set interval. Okay, let's say set timeout. So set timeout. Set timeout as a cover function. And in milliseconds, 1000 milliseconds, which make up the seconds. So now we can say let year equal to an object of date. Then we have it get, call the function of get full year. So let's have it document dot get, or let's say query selector footer year. Footer year dot inner or text content equal to year. Let's check it out. See? So let's remove the uncoded one. Let's see if we have our year there. No, we don't have our year. We don't have year there. This for timing. Let's move this code out of this set timeout. That's why it's not working. So let's check it out again. Wow, is the class supposed to put the dots going to work now? Check it out and see. It's working now. So the next one here is let, this for the timing now, let time equal to new date of object. Now set to new date of object. Now set to local time string. To local time string. Then as a document dot query selector. What do we have there as time? Footer time dot footer underscore time dot text content equal to time. So let's check it out if the time is running now. And see, the time is supposed to be running, so let's check why the time is not running. Set timeout. Let's check it to set interval. Set interval. time is up and running now. So what we are going to do, we are going to separate the timing from the year. So let's go to our style. We have footer year, footer time. And I say, can I add margin left? Let's say where. Cool. So this our footer. We are done with our footer. So we are done with the pages now. So in the next lesson, we'll be dealing on the responsiveness of the web page. So see you there. Welcome back. So let's start adding our breakpoints for the responsiveness of our web page. So let's go to our code editor. So at the top here, let's start adding at Mixin. Let's call the name of our Mixin respond. Let's pass a parameter, we'll call it breakpoint. And I say at if our breakpoint is equal to desktop and I say at media. So our median now be mass, let's say mean, okay, mean width is equal to 1920 pixel. So we'll convert it later. Then we'll now say at content. Then we have done with our first if. Then we now say if our breakpoint is equal to landscape at median mass width is equal to 1200 pixel. At content function content. Let's give it a land. Let's call it a land. If breakpoint is equal to land, then we now have our mass at median. Our mass width will be so pixel. Then we add the content. Then we now have at if breakpoint is equal to port at media, mass width, let's say 900 pixel, at content, at if breakpoint ensure that separated is equal to phone at media, mass width equal to 700, then I say at content. So pixel, ensure you put the pixel. So we convert the pixel now into EM. So convert it into EM. So you can take your calculator. Let me put calculator on the screen so that we do this together. So this is our calculator now. So our first is 1920 pixel divided by 16, which is 120 EM. So pixel now say EM. Then let's clear it. The next one is 1200 divided by 16. Remember, 16 is the default pixel of the browser. So we have 75 EM. Then let's go to ports. Port is 900 divided by 16. We have 5625 EM. 56.25 EM. Then the last one here is the phone, which is 700 pixel. So let's clear it out. So 700 divided by 16 pixel will give us 43.75 EM. Cool. So we are set with our breakpoint. So our breakpoint now is up and running. So we can get rid of the calculator. So let's dig it out. So our breakpoint is up and running. So the first things we are going to do, remember, we want to make the page responsive. So let's go to our HTML. Let's go to our HTML. Where is body? Is HTML. This is our HTML now. Remember, the font size that we set the browser is 10 pixel. So now let's start working on our HTML. Now say at include response is the name of our mixin. Then we now pass whatever we wanted to pass. So let's pass. Remember we have land, ports, and phone, and desktop. Desktop is the default. So let's pass land. So let's do something. Let's change the font size now so that you will see the effect to 10 pixel to 10%. So let's change it so that you will see the effect. So when it has land, well, land, remember, land is 1200 pixel. So let's check it out. So let's let's type something here. Let's put it as 1200. You can see the effect. You can see how it responds. It shrink all the images and our form, because we change it to 10 font size, which is 10%. So now we take it back to 40 because it was 60. Okay, let's say 50. So see the responsive. You can see how responsive it is. Cool. So you can see it's highly responsive. This is desktop. So let's change it now to 900. Let's change it to 900. So let's see how is it here. At include response, you can see response, we have ports, which is 900. Then we can now change the font size now to, let's say, 40%. You can see that is highly responsive. When we change it to 1200, you can see the responsiveness. To 900, you can see the responsiveness. So now I want to change it to phone now. I want to change it to phone. So now let's go. Let's say at include response phone, font size 30%. Let's see. 600. Okay, we use 700. You can see how responsive it is. This is phone. So let's change it to phone. We have an SR, iPhone SR. You can see this is the font size now. So we are going to change it to the image will be at the top, then the font will be at the bottom, because this is the font size. You can see the pixel here. The width here is 400. So let's check other formats. You can see iPad is iPad. You can see it's responsive. So let's change it to phone now. So let's go to our coding. Remember the image. Let's go to our form so that we see what we are doing. The form where we have the main section. So we have main. So then remember we flex main. So let's go and do that. This main is where we flex it. So we can now say at include response phone. So what are we changing in phone now? We are now changing the flex. Let's say flex display. Remember we say display flex. Then we now change the flex direction now. The flex direction now we can change it to column. So let's go. Let's change back to responsive. You can see we have changed the flex direction to column. So let's go back and do the appropriate things. So we can now say justify content, center, align item, center. So justify item center, align item center. Remember that the image then is floated. So I think that is why we are still having the image on top of the form. let's go to the image. Let's go to the image at include. At include, we have response, say phone. Let's set it to the let's say display flex direction. Let's say flex direction column. So let's copy this and paste it here. Phone. Let's change the position to relative. Cool. You can see that everything is working fine now. I've set the position to relative. So remember, since the position is relative, all the previous image 1, image 2, we have to remove all the top and everything. We have to remove them, the top and the left. We have to remove it. So let's copy, let's paste it here. And the z, okay, and the z index, let's set it top. Let's just set the z index. Let's z index to 0. Copy all the z index for all the image 1, 2, 3. Okay, instead of me repeating it, so let's put it direct from the image. So let's have it. Where is the image? Is the image. Then let's say z index 0. So remember, when we have our image here, we display it flex. The image, okay, we display the main flex. So here now we cannot display it back to block. Display it block. I think I prefer this and this flex direction. So let's use that. Let's display it block. Let's see. Good. So we have it blocked now. Then under the name, we can now say text align center. Sorry for that. Let's put out the response. Then let's go to let's deal with the image first. So let's go to image. Remember, the image is in column now. This is the image here. Let's set the width to 100%. this one. So let's go. Response at response. So let's go. I copied this one here the other time. Then we can now have display. So display block. So where is my image 2? Top 0, left 0. So let's copy this. Paste it here. You can see it's working. Last image. Cool. Let's view it. You can see they are all aligned now. So we can now have, let's go to the image at response. Where is the image? This is the image at response. Then we can now have margin button. Margin button. Let's have 2 can see 2 is too small. Let's use 5 Cool. 5 Let's view it. You can see the image is highly responsive. You can see. So now let's work on our form. You can see how responsive it is. So we are seeing on 700. So let's work on our form. Let's go to our form. There's our form. This is our form. This is our form. Now say at include response phone. Then when the response is phone, our width should be what? Should be 100%. So let's check it out. You can see the form now is responsive. It's 100%. So we don't need to do too much. So let's go to the group. The group, you can now say, let's just copy here this and paste it for the group. You can see I'm designing the responsiveness of this layout. So margin button, let's put it to 10 10 is too much. That is too much. Cool. Then let's have the form. Where is the form? The form can now have a padding. Let's put padding to 10. Let's see what that will do to us. Okay, I think I prefer this way. You can see the responsiveness of this layout. You can see. So now remember, we did not do anything for the desktop. So let's design the desktop. Let's go to the desktop. So which is this port, design port. So let me change that length because it's too small. That 1200 is too small. It's 19. That is why it's showing at this desktop level. So let me increase it to, let's just, because this view that you are seeing here, let me close here. This is normal, but when we check inspect, you can see that the gap between the image and the form is too much, which simply means in a form you can see the response here, you can see. So if I type 1920 pixel, you can see 1200, you can see the responsiveness, 900, 700. Cool. You can see our layout. You can see our layout. So now let's deal with the heading. So we haven't touched the heading, we only touched the body. So let's do responsiveness for the heading. So let's close here. Let me go to the let's go to the heading, which is the navbar navigation. So navbar, let's go to the list. So link is the link. Let's say at include response. Let's say, let me use port. I think I prefer port. Font size. Font size, let me use, what rem do we use there? Okay, 1 rem. So let's do it now. Remember, port is 900. So let's start our 900. You can see the responsiveness. You can see the responsiveness. So let's go for the logo, the profile also. There's the profile. Let's have at include response port font. Let's change the font width. Remember, let's use font size. Font size, let's say 1 rem. See, it's working now. So let's work on the title. Let's go to the title, navbar title. At include response ports font size, let's say 1 rem. You can see it has responded already. Let's say 0.5 rem. Cool. You can see everything now is working perfectly. Everything is working perfectly. So let's close this. That is how to design a beautiful landing page in HTML. You can see how we treat the page in responsive layout. So subscribe to my channel as I drop new techniques on the latest technology on how to design a web page. So see you in my subsequent course. Thank you.